Today on DC News Now, we're tracking weekend weather. We'll tell you what to expect for your weekend plans. Parents and teachers rallying against the mayor's proposed budget cuts. Why they say the cost of childcare could skyrocket.
A teen dead and a suspect on the loose. How Metro riders are demanding more security.
Plus the latest details on the AT&T security breach, how it could impact users. And the countdown to the solar eclipse continues. Stay tuned for a guide to the best viewing spots to preview this amazing event.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Well, did you feel it? A 4.8 earthquake struck the Northeast this morning. The United States Geological Survey says the epicenter was near White House Station, New Jersey, and it could be felt in other states, including the DMV. One woman in New York captured it on camera.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
The White House releasing a statement this afternoon. The president has been briefed on the earthquake, which had an epicenter in New Jersey, and he's in touch with his team who are monitoring potential impacts. The White House is in touch with federal, state, and local officials as we continue to learn more. Well, meteorologist Damon Matson joined us now with the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, years ago I was in a small earthquake in Pennsylvania, and it certainly catches your attention.
Yeah, it's not something that we're used to feeling, more or less, here on the East Coast, but it is something that can happen, though today's earthquake there, that was on the stronger side for the East Coast. Again, here are some of the details with that earthquake. Again, it struck around 10:30 in the morning, and it was just technically outside of New York City there in northern New Jersey. That's where, again, people in NYC really did feel the impact. There's where that epicenter was, just between Allentown and New York City. And magnitude 4.8, that is on the smaller side for the West Coast earthquakes that we've seen in the past. But again, here in the East Coast, certainly stronger. And then this blue box that you see right here around that epicenter, that is where you could feel potentially some small tremors from this earthquake. And yes, all the way down toward Baltimore, some reports of people feeling a little bit of that tremor activity. So here in the DMV, we were just mostly outside of it, but thankfully we didn't feel any of the impact. But as we move forward here, I'm sure we're going to be tracking how some of those tremors, some aftershocks may take place as we move forward through the rest of the day today. Now back here closer to home weather-wise, we are not dealing with too much, thankfully. It is breezy out there. Wind speeds 10 to 20 miles an hour at this current hour. And once again, cloud coverage is on the increase this afternoon as a few showers do attempt to make their way out of the mountains and drop down across the rest of the DMV. But unlike yesterday, that shower coverage should be a little bit less. There will be that possibility of a few rain showers through about the 5 o'clock hour. But for the most part, many of us stay dry, just breezy as we head through the rest of the day today. Coming up, well, could we even see drier, quieter conditions as we head into the weekend? We'll have a full look at that in your full forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, hundreds of parents and teachers are protesting against the mayor's proposed multi-million-dollar budget cuts. They're concerned because $300 million is on the chopping block for early childhood education. Our political and government reporter Leonard Fleming joins us this afternoon at Samuel Gompers Park. And Leonard, there's great concern over these cuts.
Mark, that's exactly right. There is huge and great concern over these proposed budget cuts that the mayor has proposed. And these families are hoping, these families that rallied here today, hundreds of them, they're hoping that the mayor and city council, that they will restore the mayor's proposed cuts. Parents and educators say that cuts to the Early Childhood Educator Pay Equity Fund will be devastating. Mayor Muriel Bowser on Wednesday proposed deep cuts to the fund, along with millions of dollars in other cuts to keep the district's books balanced. These advocates say the fund is crucial for the working families as daycare centers and preschools will be forced to pass on the costs to parents. One parent in the district says city officials need to restore the funding.
We're really disappointed that the mayor made this choice. I think that she talks a lot about shared sacrifice, and in this case, really the sacrifice is on the backs of the educators, on the backs of Black and brown women, and we can be more thoughtful, we can do better in terms of setting our budgets and setting our priorities.
Ironically, there's a childhood education forum going on at a nearby hotel, and we will be talking with more of these advocates about these cuts and have more for you at our 4 p.m. newscast later today. Reporting from Samuel Gompers Park, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, Leonard, thank you. Meanwhile, the latest report on child care spending in Virginia, a study from Lending Tree finds that families in the Commonwealth spending almost 20% of their income on child care. This is the 16th highest rate in the country. The American average is 18.6% of income going towards child care, and this is up from 17.8% average reported last year. Well, new details this afternoon. We're learning the name of the teenage boy who was shot and died at the Brookland station in Northeast D.C. A suspect is currently still on the loose. D.C. News Now's Jean-Marie Sissay has the latest.
Yeah, that's right. Now, the full name of the metro station is actually Brooklyn CUA, standing for Catholic Universities of America. That just shows you how close in proximity the school is to the metro station. It's actually less than a mile away. Now, a shelter had to be put in place at the university as they searched to ensure that there were no threats on campus. But this entire situation just upset a lot of people.
We're sick and tired of this. These kids don't have no respect.
On Thursday, police say a group of young people were on the platform at Brooklyn Station when a fight broke out. Someone not involved in the fight started shooting and killed one of the teenage boys. That boy was 14-year-old Avion Evans.
Who wants to get a call that something happened to their child?
A Metro rider who did not want to be identified says more security is needed.
They have the special police officers, but they still need to be posted on the platforms instead of just walking through these trains.
Now police are searching for this person who they believe pulled the trigger that killed the teen. All of this happening just minutes away from Catholic University of America. A shelter was put in place. Allie Magnus, a student at the university, got the alert immediately.
It's obviously scary to get an alert like that. I knew that it was happening on the train platform and not directly at school. So it made me feel a little bit better.
In the statement, the university president said, "I would like to encourage our entire community to pray for the soul of the teenage victim who lost his life. And please pray for peace in our city." The news of a fatal shooting adjacent to campus is unsettling for all of us. Moving forward, school security, Metropolitan Police, and Metro Transit Police will increase patrols around campus and near the train station.
I definitely think it's needed for sure.
Now, if you do recognize that suspect in that photo, you are encouraged to contact police. For now, reporting in Northeast D.C., I'm Jean-Marie Sissay, DC News Now.
Jean-Marie, thank you. In Virginia, pro-choice advocates are urging Governor Glenn Youngkin to sign bills establishing men and women's rights to contraception in the Commonwealth. A group of lawmakers and advocates delivered 37,000 signatures calling for the governor to sign the bill. The right to contraceptives under that bill would include condoms and birth control pills, IUDs, and Plan B. Right now, Virginians do have the right to contraception, but advocates are concerned that it won't last for long.
We would be protecting the right to contraception in Virginia and doing so in the same way that we've already protected abortion access.
No one seeking condoms, the pill, or IUDs should have the government interfering with this very private decision.
And the governor has until Monday to take action on these bills. Today, President Biden visiting the site of the Baltimore Key Bridge collapse, and he's speaking on the federal support coming to Maryland. This comes as engineers are working on clearing the wreckage, they say, at the port of Baltimore so it could partially reopen by the end of the month. And officials say that this is just a tentative timeline. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers working to open a temporary limited access channel that is big enough to get larger boats in and out of the port. Engineers are hoping to fully reopen the channel by the end of May. Officials say that this is an ambitious goal and could be set back by weather and the complexity of the wreckage. For more on the president's visit to Baltimore, don't go anywhere. Our correspondent on the Hill breaks down the visit, and that's coming up in 15 minutes. And it's been over a week since the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, and since then, people across the DMV have felt the impact, including farmers. Our Frederick County reporter Skylar Salas talks with farmers on how they're adjusting.
Not going to keep me awake today. but I'm concerned.
That's how many farmers are feeling in the aftermath of the collapsed Key Bridge in Baltimore. Frederick farmers have had to import materials from different ports. That comes with an extra cost, according to Dave Barrier of Barrier Farms.
It's got a load of nitrogen at 30% this morning. I had it priced out of Baltimore at one price. The price that came out of Virginia was $35 a ton higher. So that makes it almost $800 a tractor trailer load higher. So that's quite an impact, and that's right here, right now. And we're ready to plant, so we need this material right now. It's not like that we've got 2 months to delay and figure it out. We've got to figure it out now.
And President of the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce, Rick Weldon, says,
what we might see is a little bit less shelf stock, but that would only be for a matter of days, maybe a week or two, as opposed to months, or wondering if we'll ever see those products again.
Meanwhile, Frederick County government is providing funding for people who need it.
Strongly encourage anybody that's in the ag industries, if they have any questions or fears, reach out to Katie Stevens with our Frederick County Office of Agriculture, because Katie's also part of this team I'm working with here on how we make these resources available.
Barrier also tells me that he hopes that this will look a little bit better before harvest season later this summer and fall. Reporting in Frederick County, Maryland, Skylar Salas for DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Skylar. Well, the countdown to the solar eclipse continues, and excitement is growing across the DMV, including in Prince George's County. Well, the county's libraries distributed free eclipse glasses this week, and they tell us that they ran out yesterday, but they'll still count. They will continue to hosting free educational programs for young children.
We found that parents really love having that special time with their children, because a lot of times children think of education as not fun or separate from the family, when really, learning is a lifelong journey we're on, and being part of that with your children is extremely important.
And the programs are being offered at 11 a.m. at the Baden Branch Library, and then at 2 p.m. at Spalding's Branch Library on Saturday.